Hello there, welcome back to EU4. With the crash of my games, I've decided to do something a little bit more funny here. I'm going to actually go with the Roman Empire, and as you can see, I've given myself 800 points to use, and that is basically due to the fact that I will be playing a very, very aggressive game here. That's the plan. Basically, attempt to some degree a world conquest, which could be, well, fun to do. Now, as you can see, Roman Empire's war, basically everything here is as it's supposed to be. Made myself the ruler because I'm narcissistic like that. Well, let's just go with that. Anyways, it should basically work, but again, we do have kind of an overpowered nation here. 51 as a force limit, 193 tank space, 37k manpower, and well, 666 crappy air. Lombard, Orthodox religion, Empire's government type, both of these are Western, so we will do very well against our counterparts. Idea sets, core creation cost minus 20%, minus 20% to aggressive expansion. The ideas, those are my traditions, those are what I start with. Second of all, missionary strength plus 2%, need to convert the land that I take. Infantry combat ability plus 20%, better troops. Discipline plus 10%, better troops. Force limit modifier plus 30%, bigger army. National unrest minus 2. Basically having a stable realm, and stability cost modifier minus 20%, as well as the last idea, morale of armies plus 20%, and once we've completed all idea sets, we also get the land maintenance modifier minus 20. So this is basically a very warring nation. So that is basically what I'm going for here. If people want me to create a smaller one to begin with, that's fine, but since I'm actually going to mess around with custom nations and just see how this works, I decided that I wanted to make a bigger one so I can actually do some testing in terms of the aggressive expansion in this new one. And while I do, I'll probably run 2 custom nations games. So I want to test the colonization aspect in the new one, Dorado. So I might do that. And while I do have these games running, what I'll do in the background is actually start playing as Naguar and Sweden again, and basically get to the point where I was in the previous. I'll probably make a 30 or so minute smaller, just catch up episode, if you will. That should work. And yeah, it'll basically be the same that I've been doing so far, but as I said, a 30-minute catch-up episode where I basically just explain everything I've done. I think that could work. Let's see, Austria, France, and Venice I think should work. Yep, that works. Let's see what we have of missions here. Restore the Pentarchy. Halab, Al-Quds, and Iskandria could work. Or do you want to conquer Treviso first? I think we just want to go after Venice, so why don't we just conquer Treviso? We could get a free stability point, but don't really care too much for that. We're also going to start fabricating a claim in Friuli, because it would be nice to have. And I'm also going to declare war and then fabricate a claim on Ragusa, because that will be very much helpful. Now, we'll also take this missionary guy, because he's there, he's cheap, he is useful, and we'll take fort defense. Now, I'm a 666, my ruler here, 20-year-old 666, so I'm actually an empress, apparently. Wow, that's interesting. But it means it's really safer, because I will not just randomly assign myself as a general. So that is that works perfectly fine in my view of things. But as I said here, we're going to attempt a world conquest, which means that I should probably focus on going westward. So province is definitely going to be fabricating a claim on. We're going to just conquer our way over there, and hopefully I can stop them in time. If not, that's not a horrible scenario, but it'll be interesting to see what happens here. An alliance with Aragon is actually something I would accept for now, because that could potentially drag me into war with Castile, and then I can secure the coastal provinces, if you will. So yeah, that works. That was just fine for me. And as you can see, Provence is actually allied with Castile, so that is wonderful. Venice is allied with the Knights. Not anything we need to concern ourselves with there, but we'll go after Venice. We'll take Treviso, and we'll probably just force them to release their vassals here. There's nothing really much else that we'd like to do, I think. So we'll see how this goes. We also have a very big fleet here that we started with, which makes things a lot easier in terms of annihilating them. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. Just try and take them down here in the most effective way possible. And we're definitely doing that, thanks to the fleet that I spawned with. But yeah, I think this start is a little bit overpowered. But again, it will allow me to test the different strategies that could be used in a world conquest, if you will. So it's not a is not too horrible of a strategy, if you will. I think, or too horrible of a start in that regard. But we'll figure that out as we go before I get a claim on Provence itself. And again, if I get into war with Castile, the goal will be to take these 2 provinces, or these 3 provinces first. Then we'll fabricate claims on Granada, and then we'll basically work from there. I'm pretty sure that we are strong enough to deal with Castile should we end up in a war with them. At least that's what I would assume. Burgundy, can I get an alliance with them, for instance? France, I did rival them, but yeah. Who did I actually rival? Let's just check here to be perfectly safe. Venice, France, and Austria. Wow, I should probably have reconsidered that. Got myself some better allies before I went well, meeting here, but that's fine. I'll just allow the sieges to continue. I should probably go ahead also and pull the people that are not necessary to siege out of there to lessen my manpower losses. And we're going to do just that. So let's just get everyone into a safe area. And yeah, just wait for the sieges to finish here. Then we'll be going after Provence and of course also Castile, France, everyone basically. Although I might have to reconsider and do some, or just stay peaceful here for a little while in order to secure a basically the first set of ideas. I'm a little bit unsure what. But if I go for instance, humanist ideas, that will make it a lot easier for me to conquest due to the fact that I will get religious unity. I could also go for influence to get a little bit less to aggressive expansion, but other than that, there's not really too much here that would be useful unless I have a ton of vassals, etc. So until that point, we'll not be doing too much of the aggressive play, if you will. But as I said here for now, we'll just allow our troops to recover. I'll be setting up the units into, I think, 16,000 man armies. I think that should be fine. Probably better, if you will, for the current game I'm playing. And with that, I'll just allow the Siege of Venice to end. So the time has come for peace deal here with, well, with Venice. And as you can see here, taking anything here is going to be incredibly expensive, mostly due to the fact that it's very much valuable provinces that are being transferred here. So I think we're actually just going to not take anything. Kind of a bad start to conquest, I know. But I am going to force them to release Croatia here and also pay war reparations. And the reason for that is very, very simple. What else am I forcing them to do? No, I don't want that. Basically, I can then most likely peacefully vassalize Croatia, fight Hungary for, well, completion of Croatia, and then I can just, well, create a semi-big Croatia in the area that I can then work with, or from, or whatever you want to say, just to grow a little bit of power. So that could actually work to my advantage, and we'll have them give up any deal they have with Hungary. I'll take their money, and that should be perfectly alright as a deal here. So we'll be starting our work at making Croatia, well, like us, so we can actually vassalize them, and the goal will be actually to vassalize them before we go to war here. I think that is basically the best thing we can do. Again, kind of focusing eastwards rather than westwards here, but I think it would be beneficial to just get a alliance up and running here, if you will. So it should be good. But as I said, we're going after Provence. They're still just allied with Castile, and if Aragon joins in here, then Castile will definitely get their arms beaten. But again, yeah, there will probably be a coalition in the area, most likely Castile, Portugal, and potentially France. So I need to be a little bit careful here that I don't piss them off too much. But if I can just break France now in the beginning, that would also be very, very good. France's current allies are none, so that's really, really good. So I think we'll just, no, we'll decline that again. We'll get this guy back home, and we'll go ahead and declare war on Provence. Aragon will not join in. Have a truce with them, apparently. Castile will be joining in, so that is a little bit annoying, but not too surprising. If I were to declare war on France, Aragon would join in. So what I think we'll do instead is actually just wait here, well, fight France first, take most likely Dauphine, Languedoc, Toulouse, etc. And basically just try and create a power, or a base of power here. Now, worst case scenario is of course that Burgundy and, well, people end up in a coalition against me. So I think we'll just take Languedoc and Narbonne, and potentially Toulouse too. We'll have to see. It's kind of a weird situation, if you ask me. And since we do have as much money as we do, we're actually going to create a mercenary army here, consisting of well, 12,000 men. That will bring us up to our force limit, and it will also allow me to well, use domestic sieging squad, and that is basically the plan behind them, to use them for sieging, as you might expect. So let's just get everything set up here. Nope, not the 16,000 man army. You were not supposed to join in. You're just going to cause too much trouble. And I'm actually still making money, just barely, but I'm still making money, so that is that's very good. So my castle spell here has been created, and they still don't have any allies. So what I'm actually hoping here is that by doing this, potentially we'll see that well, someone else joins in the war as well. That could definitely be helpful. But we'll have to see here. Aragon is currently being hunted down. They actually have 50,000 men. Oh, we're about equal. They do have a little bit of a disadvantage here due to attrition. And again, I'm not going to actually support Aragon in this war. I'm going to, again, just use them to my advantage here. Have my enemies accrue exhaustion by hunting down the Aragonese soldiers, more or less, and then we'll just keep Dauphine, force them to give up, more or less, and that should hopefully be enough. I think. I hope. So yeah, we'll go with that and see how it works out. What? Oh, I did not pay attention. They actually managed to sneak into my land. How horrible. No, I just lost 5,000 men. It's not really a concern of mine. It's just 5,000 men. Of course, I would have preferred not to lose them, but still. I think one of the reasons why I kind of feel reluctant between doing a proper world conquest is because I don't have the attention span that's required to do that. I just can't slow down enough to pull that off, I think. So that's why I gave myself advantages here with the Roman Empire, although I haven't really been able to do anything so far. We'll reject the demands. We're creating an abundance of admin points, and we'll only need to spend 80 due to the fact that we're part of the Empire and we're Orthodox, so we don't really have any concerns here. We're also going to allow these guys to pull up to Ewige Landfriede so that we can get benefits and still fight. I think that works. But there we go, we have taken Dauphine, and again, I'm just going to slowly but surely move into the French lands here, if you will. I need a general for this army, I think, but before that, let's just tech up. Military taxes per 0.25, land morale increased by 0.5, really good. And I think just for the sake of reaching the next level of national ideas, we're going to go with influence first, because we can do fabrication of claims, we can have more vassals. Basically, the northern area will probably be a vassal area where I'll be defending myself with the exclusive use of vassals, most likely. We'll have to see. And apparently here, these guys do have a lot of troops they can sacrifice for this cause. So it depends if we can actually get there on time. We did, and we actually won that battle. We did suffer some pretty harsh losses though, so I wouldn't actually call that a victory, all things considered. Yeah. Wouldn't really call that a victory. And the Pope here is about to go bye-bye very soon. But yeah, I'm going to again consolidate land here, just to make it a little bit nicer looking, if you will. There we go, we have our national ideas. We can now take a group of ideas, and as I said, it will just go for influence first, because of the fact that I can then lower my aggressive expansion from conquest, and that is actually going to be rather important in this current scenario, if you will. We'll also continue improving relations with Croatia, as I completely forgot about that, but that's fine. So how are we doing here? Let's send a bigger army here to actually back them up, I think. Yeah, I think we'll actually win this battle, even though they are reinforcing a lot. So that is just that's just fine. And again here I'm going to be using mercenaries for sieging, and the rest is just going to hang back. Now France is going to have a big issue because they're reaching a really high war exhaustion, and that is basically what is hopefully going to slow them down. They still did win their war though, so it's going to be interesting to see how things go here. But if I can just well, completely annihilate, or yeah, annihilate France here, that would be good. And if I can also go for an alliance here in the future with England, that would be great, because they have a tendency of landing rather big armies, especially early game, to help out. And again, here I did not pay attention to the fact that we were under attack, but doesn't matter. I get there in time, manage to support it, and we're actually going to just pull this army back home because it needs to reinforce. Respect is overdue, siege from Narbonne is over. And yeah, we're doing rather good here, although that battle was something that I probably could have avoided. But again, we do actually have a tech advantage right now, so that is wonderful. The fact that Burgundy just declared war on England, on France, is also very wonderful. Burgundy is pretty strong, so they should be able to do some decent damage against the Frenchies here. Very decent damage. And with that, how am I doing in terms of getting what I want here? Again, I'm going to get an incredible amount of aggressive expansion here with the world, so I'll have to see. I might go for just dragging this war out and taking the entire line, if you will, if I can. And that could actually work again. That could be one of those things that I'll do just to make them work to my advantage. Take the line, then I can start with Castile, just conquer land myself, etc. I might do that just because it will be the easier route, but it remains to be seen what I actually end up doing, of course. But yeah, this has been the start of my little Roman Empire here. It's going to be, of course, difficult to do a world conquest with this, I do realize that. But as soon as I get my ideas, I'm going to start steamrolling people, and that is going to make things a lot more interesting and a lot more easier, so we'll have to see here what I actually end up with. And of course, when I can declare war on well, Provence here, dragging Castile, that will be neat. But as things currently are, we'll just have to wait and see how things pan out, and hopefully everything will work out to my advantage. There we go. Croatia is now a vassal of mine, and with that we can go after the Hungarian cause as soon as we want to. The Teutons, Burgundy, and Bavaria. Pretty much a very powerful setup there, but I think we can counter that. I hope. I think we'll just have to wait and see. Another stability loss. Very nice start here. But we can of course counter that too, so it's not a big concern. But again, we'll be playing this careful. Allow Burgundy to do most of the heavy lifting here on out. We'll just be focusing on taking the southern area of France. And I might actually go for taking one province like La Bourde, for instance, myself, and then just creating vassals for the rest of the land. That is definitely a possibility, and that is something that I will consider. But we'll see how it pans out. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, praise, criticism. Should I create a smaller Rome to begin with, or should I just continue from here? It's basically up to you. And I'll see you next time. I might reconsider actually placing myself in this area too. Basically a return of Rome, if you will. But we'll see what we end up with here. Bye.